Hello, and welcome to Introducing Me. I'm your host, Sarah. I started this podcast to get to know other people and lifestyles while discovering more about myself. Each episode, I will give a new guest a chance to discuss their background, culture, interests, or whatever they want to talk about to help increase all of our own worldviews. Today, I would like to introduce you to Lee Hopkins. He is a coach who helps create lasting friendships, and he is also a trans man. He would find himself lonely even though he had friends, and now he helps others. So he's here to talk a little bit about his life and what he does. So I'm excited to have him here today. So Lee, thank you so much. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Wow, Sarah, thank you so much for having me. First of all, I really appreciate being able to share my story with as many people as I can. So I'm glad to actually just chat with you today. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I grew up pretty lonely because I wasn't able to share myself with other people. And so just jumping right into my story, I moved around a whole lot trying to find that right tribe of people. And I found that it's just, I'm laughing because I think about it. Every time I say it, it's like how fruitless it felt, going around looking for my group of people, trying to fit in. So I grew up in a small town in Ohio. And in that town, I felt lonely and disconnected from people, my family. I had a couple of friends, but I didn't really have a really deep connection with them. And then I had an opportunity to go to college. When I went there, it's a whole new place, all new people. I thought certainly going to have a new experience and I'm going to find people to connect with. Because I thought, well, I just didn't find my tribe when I was living in my small town. I go to this college and same thing happens. I'm not able to really make lasting connections with people. I always feel like I'm not fitting in some way, somehow, even though people have come from all over to come to this college. So it's just a lot of that repeating in my life, a lot of it.
So then what did you kind of do to get to where you are now?
Well, I decided that, first of all, Ohio was not a place for me to live. I, I left the entire state. I had an opportunity to leave. So after college, I started working a job that had an opportunity in California. So I thought, well, there's nothing really here. I'm going to go to California. California is bigger. It's a blue state. They have avocados. They have lots of culture. That's what I was thinking and so I had an opportunity to go there and to be a new person and show up as a different me, more exciting, more connecting, whatever I thought that was going to make a genuine connection. And out there, I started karaoke. I loved karaoke, so I started doing karaoke because one of the things I felt was that I couldn't talk about my feelings, but I could sing them. And certainly with Liquid Courage, I could sing them loudly. And so I became like a mini celebrity on the scene. Like a lot of people knew me. When I walk in, the bartenders had my drinks ready, things like that. And I still found myself pretty lonely, absolutely lonely. So at this point, I'm still presenting as a female, dating women, not really connecting with people. So I had another opportunity to move. So again, I realized that it was the entire state of California that was wrong. And I had to leave. So I moved to Chicago, where I am now. And in Chicago, I basically hit the ground and another opportunity to reinvent myself. And I found the people, I found the queer community. I found the people and language to put together to what I thought I was feeling, what I thought was missing for me fitting in, just me being my authentic self, right? I mean, I've heard that so many times. Just be yourself, just be yourself. Is afraid to be yourself. So I'm thinking, well, I came out of the closet once as a lesbian in Ohio. And then I moved to California and I'm feeling like I'm being my authentic self in California, being all lesbian and stuff, lesbian karaoke. And then I moved to Chicago and here I find people to say, oh, really? You're not connecting with other people because you need a transition. This is not what they're saying to me, but this is what I feel inside. I thought that was the answer. That was the feeling. And I transitioned. I transitioned for about 6 months before I got down. So people didn't really know me, my history, or anything. They just always saw a man. They always saw a male. And man, Sarah, would you believe that I was still lonely? Would you believe that? I'm still lonely. And not that I am upset about the transition that I made. I'm I want to change back or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's not like a life choice I made that I regret. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying and what I've noticed is that there are little things like that. Um, Transitioning seems like a little thing, but in the grand scheme of things, stepping into your truth is what really makes the connection. And living fully in your truth really makes the connection. And so, what I mean by that is that, well, although I transitioned, I really still didn't like myself. I was still hiding something. I was part of the queer community, but I also wasn't. I was with groups who had a different language than I did because I'm different ideals, different values than I did. So I step into these groups, and of course, they have the same trans experience, but there are still values that are different. So they may be protesting, they may be using language that I'm not used to, like Z, Zer, and the politically correct language that I don't know of. And I felt kind of ostracized. It still felt like I was out of the group. I'm making a different amount of money. I have a whole background life experience that's different. And we're not connected on just the fact that we're trans. It just doesn't happen. It didn't happen that way. And so I felt so lonely because of that. And I realized, oh, that's it. That's it. That's the problem. I'm not really connecting with people because I'm not really being and living my authentic self, and not just how I look, but also my values, or my beliefs, those things deep down, sharing those things. And so, how I got to where I am today is that I discovered how that feels to make connections with people for myself. I felt it for myself. Then I had to just like, oh, I've got to tell everybody. I've got to tell everybody, everybody, this is how you do it. So I've made I guess the rest of my life, I would like to just dedicate to helping people make these genuine connections, making lasting friendships.
Yeah. And I think that's like super important to come to that realization. So you talked a little bit how you were even feeling ostracized in the trans community. So what was your transition period like for you?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. I actually had a girlfriend at the time who was very helpful, and I felt very accepted by her because of the physical change, but it seems like our values weren't connected. So it was like they accepted the fact that I was transitioning, but it seemed like I was just grasping on because I was alone and I was afraid because I'm going through this change, and not many people understand what it means to be trans. So this is something that was like maybe 7 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. And Caitlyn Jenner was just coming out, but still, I still had to share this intimate, deep part of myself, or just have this fear that I'd be found out or something like that was always circling around with me. So maybe people in the trans community could understand that little fear exactly, or maybe there were people who really stepped into themselves and they were like, this is it, I'm queer, I'm here, and I need people to see me fully, and they expressed that. And I felt just disconnected from all of it, just kind of afraid, just like they were supportive as they could be because they saw me as a person on their level. But when it comes to this deep, intimate part of knowing each other, that just didn't exist.
So do you still have experiences where you're like afraid of people finding out that you're trans?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Like I used to have it a whole lot, and that depends. Like, yeah, because I'm thinking, trying to, I'm running diagnostic on my brain here and thinking, well, what situations have I been in? Because when I first transitioned, I was terribly afraid about people finding out, and especially after me and my partner broke up. Right, we broke up, and I'm like, oh well, now I have to go on the dating scene. I know it sucks for people who are hetero people. It sucks all the time. It's like you have the largest amount of people who want to date you, right? and you don't have to really explain much to them. But now I have to go explain my whole body and who I am to them. So I would do lots of experiments to get to where I am now, to get to the comfort level that I am now. So when I was trying to make friends, I was in therapy, and it's like, well, what do I do? Well, I guess I should just talk to people, right? Talk to people about being trans. And I didn't know where the boundary was. Honestly, I didn't know where the boundary was. How much is too much? Who should I talk to? When should I talk about it? I didn't understand those things. So I had to figure out what it was going to be. And I'm here in Chicago, and one day I go to stand up. I find an Eventbrite, go to stand up all by myself, and I figured I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to go hang out with somebody. I'm going to talk to them. We're going to I'm going to make a connection. Darn it, I'm going to do it. So I have my beer, talk to this guy, and I really, really just wouldn't know that I'm a trans person unless I told you. So somehow I steered the conversation towards that to see how he'd react to just being trans and LGBTQ and all that stuff. So it's early in my transition, and he said that he'd never seen a trans person before, never met one before. And in my brain, I thought, well, we're cool. We've been talking for like 5 minutes here. I'm going to just go ahead and reveal myself. And so I share with him, I'm trans, and his eyes, I tell you, for real, they bugged out. They did a cartoon bug out. Boom. His face like dropped, his jaw dropped and everything. It was so surreal. And he didn't say another word to me, put his beer down, and he left. He left the venue completely. I was like, wow, I felt so isolated and so lonely. And so that rejection was really hurtful, but also for time has passed. And also for them, that was probably a traumatic experience. They've never seen one. They don't understand the process of why anyone would do this. And here you are thinking you're safe talking to a person about how you feel about that stuff. And they reveal it on you. Boom. I can see that must have been a whole event for him. But for me, wow, I just felt like, wow, man, I can't make friends with that. People I don't even want to have sex with won't talk to me if I tell them. But how am I ever going to get a date? Stuff like that just made me feel really insecure. And so it's something that I think I could have talked to the trans community about if I'd been better connected and more secure about myself. But I just couldn't do that either.
And so what is it that you do now when you're meeting new people and talking about your identity?
Well, I have posted on my website. So most recently, I met somebody new, and I really liked their energy, not trying to date them romantically or anything like that. But I realized that the information is out there because I tell them I'm a coach, and this is what you do for a living usually just comes up, right? And so here's the website, take a look or whatever, and it's there. You can talk, we can see it. But I also don't say like, hey, I'm trans. I don't do that. I leave it out. Purposefully, I leave it out unless I feel like it's relevant for the conversation. And I'm thinking about the most recent conversation that I had about it, because it's been a while since I've introduced myself to someone in person. And so this was in person, and we talked, and I would actually just kind of ask questions to kind of suss out how they feel about LGBTQ. Because I definitely don't want to have that trauma that happened to that one guy all those years ago. I don't want to have that effect. I don't want that effect on me either. But I don't also want to waste my time and energy trying to get to know a person who really doesn't like or can't understand or is not willing to understand the core of who I am. I don't want to do that either. So I want to get them to notice. I want to get a read on that as soon as possible.
And what would happen if, while trying to like meet someone new, you came to the realization, yeah, they don't support the LGBTQ plus community, or they aren't willing to at least like take the steps to understand why people identify in that community?
Yeah. Well, what I would do is I would actually start trying to understand more about who they are. So we'll just say that, okay, the closeness thing, I'm not really trying to get there. I just kind of switch my gears and think about being curious about who they are. Like, kind of like what you're doing, introducing me. I want to be curious about who they are and how they got to those points. Because I know that at every person just really wants to be understood. And if I rail at them with this kind of, I reveal myself as a advocate or a trans person, and I reveal all kinds of and be all kinds of angry and aggressive. If I present myself in that way to them, that's not going to help the cause or the case. It's also not going to help me understand them in a little more. It's just going to get back a little bit of fire and stuff. So try and keep myself safe by recognizing where they are. So if they're really intensely full of hate, or I don't really like to say that hate, but they really intensely disagree with my lifestyle and they can't handle anything about me, then I kind of got to cut my loss. I know that I can't communicate, or I have to be safe with it. There's no sense in me trying to be curious about them when they just can't see past themselves and their own beliefs. So I would look for that first, be safe. And then I would look for an opportunity to kind of figure out, we're not asking specifically about what's going on with LGBTQ for them. It's about knowing who they are and where they've come from in their experiences. So just connecting on those things. Because I'm trans, but that's just one facet of who I am.
So, what other facets of yourself make you you?
What other facets? Well, I had this opportunity to um, move from state to state to state. So that's not something I think that everyone does, is have an opportunity to do that. I grew up in a small town and now I live in a big city. That happens, I guess. I do karaoke. I did karaoke, past tense. I did a lot of karaoke and I organized an event. The organized people, it's kind of like American Idol kind of style karaoke where people are just like able to come and do competitions. That's why I envisioned doing competitions. But we did a lot of events together. Um, into the hobbies, my values. Like I used to work in corporate America as a trans person, and this value that has since changed. But one of the things that separated me, I guess, from the queer community initially was not the understanding that, well, just because I transitioned doesn't mean that I'm going to have all these rights and privileges that come with it. And being a male in this space and act like a bro, because that's just not going to happen. That's just not what we do here. We're queer people. We understand we're already oppressed, and you're not going to get into this group of oppressed people, and become an oppressor. You can stop that right there. Stuff like that. So, um, yeah, and I, no, I don't have any more to add to that.
That's okay. Um, can I ask why you stopped doing karaoke?
Oh yeah, well, I left it when I was in California. I left the karaoke scene and then I transitioned here and I in Chicago and I did try to go karaoke. I did. My voice changed a whole lot and some of the songs that I wanted to sing just didn't didn't sound great, you know. I really like, one of my favorite songs to sing was Spice Girls Wannabe. Come on, everybody gets up to that. Everybody loves it. You gotta slime. See, it doesn't even sound right. Sun anybody down and wind it all around. Ha ha. See, I can't do the notes or anything anymore. So there's a lot of songs that I wanted to sing, and I felt like I wasn't able to anymore. I felt very self conscious about it. And the biggest thing, I guess, was that I didn't find what I was looking for. So I had built this whole community in knew a bunch of people in California, and I didn't really know them. I didn't. People that I drank with and we sang with, and we said, "Hey, great job," every once in a while. But I knew nothing about them when they left the bar, and it was the same for me. And I was finding that I was just so lonely. And then here I was in Chicago creating that same thing again, created it again. So I stopped doing that because I was going to create the same pattern that I've done before.
And so then are you still finding at times that you are lonely?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes, man, that happens, and it's I'd say it's a lot because of doing my own self discovery. So I know a lot of people have involuntarily had to sit with themselves, had to sit down and with people in the house, and they're stuck with them, and they realize that, well, they don't really like themselves, or they don't really like the person that they're with, or they want something different and new, and trying to figure out exactly what that is can be a lonely experience. Because like at the end of the day, I think people who people want to be understood, and that's just it. People want to be understood. And if there's no one there to understand you, if you don't understand yourself, then how are you going to be understood? That's all roundabout. It's all like kind of a loop of confusion. But what I discovered is that being anchored in who you are can be a lonely experience if you don't know where to start. You're doing your own self searching and your own soul searching, and there's nobody that's going to help you find it. You got to find it yourself. So, um, being lonely and being alone, quoted as two different things. But yeah, absolutely being lonely sometimes, not knowing what I want to do, why I want to do it, what the purpose is. But I have a couple of tools to help myself get back to feeling like this is okay. Because that's all we can do is be okay.
And would you mind sharing what those tools are?
Oh, yeah. No, it's like I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I am excited to share with you gratitude. Gratitude is the thing, and I've heard this before, and I tell you, I rolled my eyes so hard because I'm like, this is stupid. Like, grateful for what? I'm here, I'm bored, I'm alone, I can't figure out what to do. I'm tired of scrolling through Netflix. YouTube sucks. There's nothing on Hulu. Oh man, there's nobody to talk to. These forums, just everything is boring and uninteresting and just stupid. And so, gratitude right there, because we all have hit that point. Definitely. We've had enough of everything at one point in time. And looking at how you can be grateful, or how I can be grateful for whatever it is that I'm experiencing, for the feeling and the experience is what has helped me move through it. So let's take Netflix, for example. We're scrolling through Netflix and like, oh, I'm grateful to be able to have this time to scroll through. I'm kind of grateful to explore and see something new. I'm grateful to have this, uh, whatever basics, down to the basics, the money to pay for Netflix, or the the eyes to see Netflix, those things, just being grateful for that help me feel like, yeah, this is okay. I'm having an experience and I can go have another experience. And so on top of that, another thing that I use is just looking for something new and different. So I have this experience I'm going to be grateful for, but I also want to have an experience that's new and different. So I'm scrolling through Netflix and I'm completely bored. Pick something I've never picked before and think I would hate. Go. And then do something with that experience. Because all I'm really looking for is a new stimulation, something else. I don't want to go into this mindset, go into this TV show and think, oh man, I'm going to hate it. Okay, well, I can do that. I can do that and I can go have that experience. It's much better than having the one where I'm just scrolling through and just doing nothing and feeling like I'm doing nothing. Why don't I just hate watch something? Or, just have just a new outlook, learn something. What can I learn from this? Just stimulating in those ways.
Have you ever found that you've liked something that you've hate watched?
Yes, I have, and it surprised me. I forget what it was called, but it was one where I think there's all good looking people on an island, and they couldn't have sex or kiss or touch or anything, and they would be able to get a pool of money if they just made it through. Now they all had this crazy chemistry, and the experiment. I guess the idea was for them to get to know each other and develop genuine relationships instead of in addition to or deeper relationships than just the physical ones. And it was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. But some of those characters, I was just like, man, you guys. At the end of it, they were like, I felt like we fell in love and we're connected. We love each other and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think so. Are you really gonna get married after? I don't know. But it was fun to just put myself in that position.
Yeah. So what is you mentioned, I believe that you are a coach. So what is it that you coach people for or with?
Oh, well, I coach them to help them understand that little thing that they're hiding, that they don't want other people to find out. 'Cause that is the key, I think, to being lonely, and what loneliness is that there is something that's really important to you, really awesome about you, that you want to share with other people, but you're afraid to do it because they think they're not going to like you, because you think they're not going to like you when you share this thing. And so you're alone, you're lonely, and you stay lonely. And while you're alone and lonely, there's this fear of being alone that creeps up with you, the loneliness fear. So you're there and you're like, what if I'm alone forever? But you are, because you're not doing this one thing. You're not sharing yourself. But I don't want to share myself because I'm going to be alone. Well, you already are. So let's share yourself. And people step out and they start sharing themselves like I did. And the guy ran away. Yeah, because the guy ran away, and then they go back into that. And I help them understand that. And this is why I share my trans experience, is that, yes, that is going to happen. Thank goodness there's gratitude in that, because those people are making it easier for you to find the people who really want to see you, who really are interested in you. I probably would have never been able to talk to you, Sarah, if I hadn't stepped into my truth and been comfortable with this, be comfortable with sharing who I am. And I don't tell people to go get on the mic and go share everything with everybody, but it's important that there are some people who understand your experience, that little piece of you, and help them figure out what it is and how to share it.
And so then how did you make the transition from corporate America to being a coach?
Oh boy. I love this question. Well, last year in 2021, there was the Great Resignation. I don't know if it's still going on. I don't know if people are still. I've seen so many videos of people like in McDonald's just like jumping in the tubs of water, the sinks. They were just like, they're doing something grand on their last day. Like, forget about all this. Screw everything. I don't want to say that I jumped on the top of a table and said, you all suck and I'm out of here. I did not do that. But I just handed my resignation in, and I just said, I had a cool boss, a really cool boss who was very understanding. And was like, yeah, he known that I've been working the coaching alongside of corporate America And I really felt like, wow, this is the opportunity to do something more meaningful and more dedicated and I mean more fulfilling. And so after that, so this was like late last year, I started to dedicate myself more to coaching full time. So it was more of it was easier, I guess, because other people were doing it. So that just makes me a follower. But I just has handed my resignation, and my supervisor already knew that I was interested. I was already had my coaching and all this stuff aside, so they were prepared.
And that's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a follower. You did what was right for you in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you think that coaching and being in Chicago will be a long-term thing for you?
Yes, I definitely think that it will be. Um, I like Chicago a whole lot. I can't wait till we start really opening back up and experiencing, all that it is. Paying the rent to stay in a place. And for a couple of, for a while here, I felt like, well, I could just, move somewhere else and save on rent because I'm not in the city. So I'm not enjoying the city. I'm not able to enjoy it, but I'm looking forward to it opening back up. I really like escape rooms and puzzles and things like that. So I hope to connect with people and try some of my techniques that I developed while being alone, like really realizing my values and what I really want from people and start talking to those people in person so that I can make more connections with people. Um, I think that coaching and loneliness, that's not going away. I don't think that it's going away now. Everyone feels a bit of loneliness, and it's hard to just realize that there's something that you need to change, because that's not what happened with me. I had help. I went to therapy, and they kind of helped me see the things that I couldn't see about myself to make better connections, to understand who I was, to be more comfortable with that. So I think providing that kind of service for people, no matter what, no matter where we are, isn't going to go away.
And that's completely understandable.
Hmm.
So, what is it that kind of brought you specifically to Chicago when you were fleeing California?
I definitely was running from everything. Well, what brought me here was just a job opportunity. So I've been working with the same company since Ohio, and so they actually moved. I actually had an opportunity to move to Chicago or California, and then I got promoted and I moved to Chicago, and that just happened to be where the headquarters was. And very, it's a very scary experience because I had moved from Ohio to Chicago with someone. I was dating someone at the time, and although we weren't really, really compatible, we had moved together because I didn't want to be alone, and I think they were fleeing from something of their own, right? And so we fell apart in California. And at this time, when I moved from California to Chicago, I was doing this alone, completely alone. I sold all my stuff, my car, most of my things. I'd actually packed up 7 boxes and I shipped them UPS. And then I got a plane ticket and I flew over. And that's how I got here. And I had to buy everything else when I made it here. But um, it's a very I'm grateful of the gratitude. I'm grateful for that experience because when I look back on it, it's like I guess I could have been anywhere. I was looking for a job. I was looking for something new and different. It could have gone. I could have gone anywhere, but I made it here to Chicago. And in Chicago, there was so much more opportunity too.
So, what else would you like to share with the listeners about whether yourself personally or the good work that you're doing as a coach?
About myself personally, I would say that confidence and stuff, when we see people who are out there who seem like they know everything and they've got it all figured out, they don't really. They don't. And just believing that, just knowing that is true will help you so much. It helped me so much thinking that, shoot, I don't know everything. And I feel like when I look at other people, they have their lives together. They know what they're doing. They've got a partner, they've got a car, they've got a nice job and a nice house, and they wear a suit and tie. But in the inside, they're just winging it, just like us, just like me. And so realizing that and having the awareness that, it's okay not to know, just be grateful that you have this experience. Being grateful that you have this experience will help a lot in coming when it comes to connecting with yourself, so that you can connect with other people.
And do you think that you have your life together?
Yes. Well, I think that knowing that it's all messed up it's never going to be like whatever ideal perfect is. It's always going to be experience of ups and downs. Always. It's going to be comfortable, it's going to be uncomfortable. Always. And so when I hit something that is really crappy, it feels awful, it's terrible, I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be like this. I guess that's okay. And then when the up comes, then I'm like, oh, well, awesome. It's supposed to be like this. Guess it's okay. So that really helps me feel like I've got my life together by knowing I don't. I can't.
That is awesome right there. Now, you've mentioned a couple times that previously you were in therapy. Is that still
Mhm.
something that you are doing?
Oh, no, I have left therapy because I think there is a point where you get what you need, and then you only need the skills. I think you only need the skills, and you get that and you keep applying. So there's always going to be ups and downs. And what I got out of therapy was how to deal with the downs and how to deal with the ups too. There's things that I needed to learn about self discovery, about handling my own emotions, about taking responsibility for my own actions, and connecting with people, and speaking my truth, and being able to um, how I react to other people in situations and events. All those things are skills that you learn and you take with you and you apply it to life. I don't need another English class because I speak English okay. I'm okay with it. I can communicate with other people. It's kind of like how I view therapy. You get what you need and you continue to apply it. And I adjust as it goes along. The words are changing. People are using um, new slang now. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm almost 40 years old and I don't know what I, I mostly think that people say stuff like fire. I'm like, that's fire. I know what fire means, okay? But there's more slang out there that I don't know that I will adjust and understand. I can still communicate. That's the whole point, is that I take it, I use it, and I continue to grow with it. And so that's what I think all kinds of learning is supposed to be. Like if you go to therapy, if you go to coaching, we can't be coach and client for years upon years. I don't want that. I don't want that for you. We can touch base, we can refresh, but I really hope that you take your skills, you take the information, and you learn, you grow, and you experience life the way you want to.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. It's just like kind of reframing that mindset of getting the tools you need and doing what you need to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. So it really helps, and really helps you. It helped me feel empowered. Like I didn't have to wait. I remember once. I had some kind of big issue and some problem, and had to wait till group therapy to talk about it. And I was thinking, man, I just wish I had somebody to talk to instead of waiting for group therapy. So then I have to have this intense emotion where I have to keep it for a whole another 5 days before I can talk about it, and then I have to wait my turn. Uh, it's just terrible. So having the tools to deal with it is very helpful now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have any more specific questions, but I've loved hearing everything you've had to share with us today. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to start to wrap things up.
Absolutely.
At the end of all my episodes, I do ask a random question. So there is one more question for you. What is your opinion on roller coasters?
I laughed pretty heartily because I had interviewed with someone and I'd mentioned how much I disliked roller coasters just out of the blue. And it is not because roller coasters are terrible things or they're designed the way they're designed or anything like that. It's that the time it takes to get onto a roller coaster is really frustrating for me. And I could be grateful about standing in line and talking to someone for 3 hours to get on the ride that lasts for just a few minutes. Absolutely. But I choose to do something else with my time because when I go to an amusement park, the last time I was at an amusement park, I was like, oh man, every ride, there's just like people. And it's like 2 hours for this one. And it's an hour and a half for this one. And it's 3 hours for that one. And it's like, we've spent the whole day here and I've only gotten a few rides and I feel so disappointed. So I don't have as much value. I don't value them as much as I used to when I was younger, when it was just super thrilling and I didn't mind waiting and I had such energy. So overall, I say roller coasters are fun. I see why people love them. They give you a really thrilling feeling. They're not for me.
All right, that brings this episode to a close. Of course, I will be leaving a link to Lee's website in the description if you would like to go check out all of the great things he is doing and connect with him. And if you would like to check out more resources and the social media for the podcast, our website is in the description as well. That brings you to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. All of those places advertise every single episode that we release every week, along with all the past information from everything prior. And if you'd like to support the podcast monetarily, a link for that is in the description as well, as long as my email address if you would like to connect with me and be a guest on the show. So thank you so much, Lee, for spending time with me today, and to my listeners for taking the time out of your day to hear a new story. Until next time, bye.
Take care.